All right. We hope we were back. We had some technical difficulties, and for the first time, it's not me that had to ruin the show. So this is a
Round of
good
applause.
milestone for me. But we are back. We're about to get into the NBA slate. Ryan, I think he said he had 9 or 10 plays. I only had one, but I definitely have a second play that I'm going to lock in during the show. But we were kind of going back and forth during that break to see exactly how to figure out and sort out the Orlando Magic offense, which
It's damn
is
near impossible, but
which
we
is
did our
still
best.
which is still very, very tough. If there's anyone in the chat that is a Magic fan, if you were to give your best guess on who in the Orlando Magic scores more efficiently slash the most tonight, just let me know. Because as much as I look into the certain slates, that team can be very annoying when you take, uh, say,
But
say take Franz and Markel Fultz drops 30 on you for some reason.
for
See,
some reason,
people are saying Wagner. I think
yeah.
Wagner is the guy. Franz Wagner is that dude. Is that what people say? That dude.
But what
He's
about
been that dude.
Bull? That's a good point.
Bull Bull is he's
Look
something
at this.
else.
He's
Um,
getting 15 to 20 minutes these days. He's actually still scoring at a good clip. He's like the second
He's
most.
killing my MVP chances with his little minutes. I need him to play
Yeah,
more minutes for my MVP ticket.
yeah, isn't that a shame? Wendell Carter, Burrow said Wendell Carter, and I want to agree, but like lately, I can't. I actually am a big fan of Wendell, despite him being a Dookie. But he just kind of sucked really bad recently, and in some fairly decent matchups. I mean, Denver's is a tough one. He had 8, and then New Orleans having 2 points versus Jonas Valanciunas is damn near inexcusable. He did come back and play a solid game versus Washington, but
Yeah.
eh, I don't know. You can't even really trust him, but so much. I mean, if you look at his full season, he's been pretty damn good, though. I'm probably overreacting over a 3 game span.
For context, I think a play that I really liked is I was at Ben Caro, and his points were very tempting, but there for some reason his points have been hit or miss, and he's kind of been down on his scoring. But his assists are set at 2.5, and that is a very, very tempting offer. He's done that thing in like 90% of his games, and all three against Boston. So I think I want to do some kind of a pairing because it's minus 140, which I actually don't even hate the juice for an assist prop
Not
like
bad.
that. But I do think I want to do like a combination. And when I was looking at his passes too. Weirdly enough, he actually averages zero point 0.6 assists per game to Wagner, which is his leading player, which is not a lot, but we're asking for 3 assists.
That's an interesting breakdown,
So
actually.
yeah, point 0.5, zero point 0.6 to Wagner, zero point 0.5 to Bol Bol, zero point 0.5 assists per game to Fultz, and zero point 0.5 to Bueno Carter. So those are the four guys that he gets half an assist in a game to. That makes you feel any better, but it definitely seems like his pass frequency goes to a lot to Franz Wagner. So I do think a pairing, if you go with FanDuel, uh, Benkera 3+ assists paired with Wagner 15+ points is actually plus 125,
You
which
can even go alt points if you like. You could probably get here, like you could get them at
probably
12 and a half, probably.
yeah, still at plus money. It's probably one of those things I'll look into after the show. But I definitely want to pair 3 assists with probably Wagner because I'm actually waiting to see if if Robert Williams is out because I actually was reading up on Wagner and his hot streak. Apparently, his improvement is mostly coming from his finishing at the rim. So if Williams is out, I like it even more because he's actually been doing a lot more drives, which is nice to see for a guy with actual talent. So I
Yeah,
probably will look to lock that in because it's plus 200. I mean, it's plus 100 on DraftKings, but you get like 25 extra cents on FanDuel. So I do think Bancaro paired with Wagner's points is a play that I'll lock in.
yeah.
So with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to Ryan, who has a decent amount of plays, which I'm excited to see because I haven't really locked much in, and I do think it's a good slate to kind of look into.
Yeah. I'll start with my shorter, or I guess my shortest breakdown as far as prop goes. It's a rebound prop, which I've been kind of falling back in love with a little bit more recently, even though almost sworn them off for a little while. I've had a little bit of success with them, especially in ladders over the past month or so. So Definitely been catching my eye, trying to kind of fall back in love with him. This one's fairly simple. I'm going to go Lauri Markkanen over 9.5 rebounds. It was minus 115 on FanDuel when I took it. Let me double check DraftKings while I'm at it. I think it was minus 120 there, so not a huge difference in juice. But all in all, matchup, it's hard to find a better one than Charlotte. And he's just been really impressive. So the most important aspect of this is 6 games ago, Jared Vanderbilt exited the starting lineup for Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley was placed at the 3. Lauri Markkanen was moved to the 4. Since that has occurred, Lauri actually missed 2 of those games, but he's played in 4 of them. In the 4 he played in, he had 16, 12, 12, and 11 rebounds. So that's pretty fucking good. In this span, in the NBA, Lauri is 11th in rebound chances. He's 6th in rebounds per game. And of all the guys that are averaging 18 rebound chances or higher over this span, he's grabbing the highest percentage of rebounds. I don't know if you want to call that a fluke or something that's really encouraging. I honestly think you can make a decent case for both. But what I find pretty interesting is he's 3rd in the NBA in contested rebounds a game at 6 in this 4-game span that he's played in. So that kind of makes me lean more towards it's not a fluke. Like, he's actually a strong rebounder. So yeah, against Charlotte, I love this spot. I mean, I thought about laddering, not a ton of value there. You can get, he just had a 16 rebound game. You can get 16 for plus 1,000, which is slightly tempting, but I'm going to go ahead and just stick with the baseline here at 9.5. And if we see double-digit rebounds, I'll be pretty happy.
Well, I would think you would want to see double-digit rebounds, considering that the only way you win the bet is if you get double-digit rebounds. Like, I'm pretty sure if you saw 8 rebounds on the stat sheet, you would be like, "Hey, good effort, guys. Good effort. Good try." Horseshoes and hand grenades is only what things are close for, or whatever that saying is, right? Is that what people say?
I stopped listening. I'm not sure what you said.
You can't get 9.8 rebounds. That's what Tone Stamp just said. So everyone's kind of just having fun here. That's what we do. This is the new episode. The new time is more fun because everyone's just already 2 drinks in somehow, and then just makes fun of Ryan, and then we just roll it over from there. But we did get a subscribe. We got someone that gifted a sub here. So his name is NJC11. So I guess that's cool. We appreciate all that stuff. They did say it's the best show out there, so I screenshot it and I just texted my mom. So that's pretty cool. She's at home watching, probably. Not really. She doesn't know how to work a computer. But either way, I do like that.
Well, she's cheering for me. I can just feel it. She's cheering for double-digit rebounds.
She's cheering for you. That was what was funny is I was at my dad's place watching the Eagles game on Saturday, and he understands I work in the sports betting world, but he doesn't really understand the breakdown of it. And I was sitting there, cheering for the Eagles, but also Dallas Goedert to get 50 yards. So it was a very like ticky tack. Oh, good play. Should have threw it to Goddard though, but we got there. But so it is a fun time to be around here. But yeah. I did put in the chat plus 105 for Banchero 3 assists, Wagner 14 plus points. So that's officially what I want to go with. I think 14 makes it sound safer to me. We have Markkanen. If you don't know, Markkanen is my arch enemy because anytime I live bet his under, there was a span of like 3 days where he just went 0.5 over. So good for you, Ryan. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Do you want to go with your second play and then I'll hop in with my NBA look for the night?
Yeah, for sure. I actually want to just comment on one of the comments. And it spoke of your boy Mayonnaise Plumlee, and to take a peek at that prop.
Who said that?
A
can
genius.
We kick them out?
An angel.
Mayonnaise Plumlee. He's on a tear.
He's having a hell of a month. I mean, he's shooting 77%
from the field. Dude.
That's not going to last, but it might because all he really does is dunk and shoots one hand, left hand, 8-footers. But
yeah, dude, and it's grossly awesome. But Mayonnaise Plumlee is having a good season when I haven't taken his under since like the first month of the year.
Right.
Like
that's right.
Like I haven't even looked at his unders. It used to be like my favorite thing, and now it's just you got mayonnaise Jordan out there playing his heart out every single night. I mean, honestly, at this point, Mason Plumlee just gives effort too, and that's enough on the Hornets. They have so many people that just like to just mail it in. That just the fact he's out there trying, it goes a long way, guys.
Yeah, I mean he's over, and like, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games this month. He's over 14 and a half in 8 of them, and then he gets a points in the paint matchup dream here versus Utah. Man, it's certainly tempting. I'm still really, to be honest, struggling to wrap my head around the fact that this is even a possibility to bet Mason Plumlee to score double digit, much less 15 or more points. But I mean, you can't deny this. This is kind of insane. And then the last game of December, he scored 22 as well. So, man, I don't blame you. I'm like I said, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the fact that Mason Plumlee is even an option for points. But man, that's a hell of a look. But I'll go ahead and move on to my next look. I'm going to kind of go in order here as far as time of the slate. Well, I guess that doesn't make sense. I'm already out of order. Scratch that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and DeJounte Murray over 27.5 points plus assist is my next play. That's plus 115 on DraftKings. The dude's on fire. He's over in his last 5. He was under in his prior 5, so it's pretty interesting. But I'm going to kind of buy into this streak, man. I really like what I've seen. Over the last 5 games, he's averaging 28 points and 6.5 assists. The over-under of this game is 239.5 or 240.5, depending on the book. He's averaging 37.1 minutes over the last 10. He's averaging 36.5 minutes for the season, and he hasn't played under 35 minutes in the last 10. One big thing that I've been struggling with during this cold streak is I just get hooked, or I catch these guys that sit the last 18 minutes. And not that it's not a possibility with him, but like this dude's locked in on 35 minutes pretty much every night. So I just want to, sometimes you don't even get a chance to hit your bet, and that gets really stressful. It makes me feel like Murray will at least give us a chance to, hit it. So I like how consistently he's on the floor. If you look at these past 5 games where he's kind of blown up, it's not really like a benefit from an easy schedule at all. He faced the Knicks, he faced the Mavs, he faced the Heat, and he faced the Raptors. So like those are 4 of the slowest, toughest teams you can face in the league. And oddly enough, they're also pretty generally strong against point guards. So they were really focused on slowing down Trey. And I think Chicago sort of fits into that mold in the sense they're pretty brutal on point guards. They're 24th in points allowed to point guards and 24th in assists allowed to point guards. So I think they can key in on Trey with likely Alex Caruso for a lot of this game, I would imagine. But they're pretty generous to shooting guards. They allow the 12th most points and the most assists to shooting guards. So it feels like a nice spot for Murray. Trey was shooting like 27 times a game and making 38% for a lot of this season.
Yeah.
He's toned down the volume a bit, and his efficiency's gone up. And Murray's kind of taken on more of the load. So is Hunter. And I really like DeAndre Hunter points as well. If you would want to pivot away from this one, I really like Hunter's points as well. But anyway, in this time frame where Trey's volume has kind of gone down, the Hawks started winning some games. They're won 5 out of 6 games lately. So I don't really see why Trey would go back into hero mode all of a sudden, especially in a tough matchup, and start launching 30 shots. I think Murray continues to see his 22 shots. 8 to 12 potential assists, and I think he'll have the volume to go over tonight.
No, I like that. I do think it's one of those.
I think we lost Brian.
I was just fucking with Tone Stamp.
Yeah,
I was just trying to fuck with Tone Stamp.
You son of a
I was trying to. I was just sitting there trying to make sure he thought the whole.
That was good, man.
With Ryan moving, I knew it wasn't. With Ryan moving, I knew it wasn't me. I was just like, I chalked it up to Brian shit.
I'm just trying to really tank the production value of the show. But I do like Murray in this game because, as you were kind of saying, Trae Young has gone from that overall system of let me put up 30 shots a game to now he's finally starting to realize that he is playing with Murray, who's a much different player than he's used to playing with. And they're kind of looking like they're gelling a little bit more because to start the season, they were very, very just non-congealed and they didn't look great. But recently they've actually looked like more of a team, which is actually fun to see for what we thought this matchup would look like.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this one. Like I said, if by chance you don't necessarily like this one for some reason, I very much like DeAndre Hunter as well. And I kind of struggled back and forth with those two a lot today. So highly enjoy both of those props. Um, I don't technically take teammates on the same team, but in a game of 240, like I'm not really that hesitant to do it here.
Yeah.
Not to say I have done it, but like in this specific scenario, not to say I've done it, but
Yeah, I feel that.
I don't really mind it either.
But Baroque's in the chat really wants an under, so I would just go take an under on the biggest fraud in the game, DeMar DeRozan. He's he's always been, kind of underperforming on this franchise. And just to let you know, I actually like DeMar's over in points in this game, but I just trying to screw with the Bulls fan here. So we'll move on from this game because the only play I've locked in, which could blow up in my face, and it's kind of I've changed my attitude on betting on NBA from shifting from a lot of unders, which kind of killed me as of late, to starting to realize that this is a league where the defense efficiency is kind of down.
Yeah.
And the stars, like if you don't score 50 in a 2-week span, you're basically irrelevant. That's just how it works now. And someone that's become a little not irrelevant, but he hasn't played in a little while, is Giannis Antetokounmpo. And you can't send pictures in this chat. I didn't know that. Can we fix that for next time? I was gonna send a picture, but I can't. But if you didn't know, Giannis has missed a knee injury. He's had a knee injury for a while, but I wanted to send this. It's Giannis onto the pickle. It's it's just Giannis Antetokounmpo as a pickle. And after seeing that picture of Giannis onto the pickle, I don't think I really knew to explain my prop too much, because if you see that picture, you gotta think this guy's dropping 30 at least. Overall, it's one of those games where I know he's coming off a knee injury. He hasn't played in a little while, but they wouldn't play their star MVP candidate unless they were sure that he was healthy. And he's missed so many games
on that one,
to the point where he's missed games to the point where he was probable up until like 10 minutes before tip or 30 minutes before tip and then being rolled out. So they've been extra cautious with him. So the only thing that I would worry about is like when I talk about worry about his minutes, I'm talking like I'm worried he plays like 28. Like 28's fine, 30's fine. I don't know if he's going to play 35 or 33 as normal minutes, but I don't see a scenario where he sees like the lower ends of the 20s. I don't think they're going to baby him that much where it becomes an issue in terms of cashing this bet. He gets the Pistons today, and the Pistons allow 55 points per game in the paint, second most in the league.
That good?
I mean, that's not good. It's not good at all.
Thank you.
Giannis is going to be a bowl enough China shop. He's not going to change his game. I don't think he's going to change his game because, like I said, he wouldn't be playing out there if he wasn't healthy. And he's actually scored 32 and 31 against the Pistons this year, and he didn't see over 31 minutes. He saw 31 minutes each. So I just think it's one of those games where, yes, is there risk in this game because of his injury? Indeed. If he wasn't coming off injury, would this line be 5 points higher at 33.5? Probably. So you take the risk here with him coming off injury, but Middleton's going to be back. Holiday's going to be back. It's going to be harder to double Giannis in the paint. And in this matchup, he should have, I would say, 10 to 15 free throw attempts, a lot of easy dunks, and a lot of transition plays that I think he's going to try to put on a show a little bit after missing some time where you have other centers and other players dropping 33 points per game, and he's going to try up that up a little bit, because his last 3 games he struggled, and his last 3 games scoring under 10 or under 20 points kind of showed he was dealing with something with that knee, but he should be healed up after 2 weeks of rest.
Yeah. I mean, this one screamed at me, man. This is one of the first ones that I saw when I woke up today, and man, that one is so tempting. It's kind of unbelievable, and to get it at plus 100 is, man. I mean, that's hard to beat right there. I'm a big buy low kind of guy in a lot of spots, so I mean, this is the ultimate buy low. It feels like, and I will say really this: that scared to play a guy coming off injury. I mean, not to say I haven't been burned, but I've also caught a million times where you catch a really low line that you never get to see any other scenario. So, if at 6:59, they say Giannis to be limited to 25 minutes, that kind of blows.
That would change things, yeah. And then Go Boys support, Go Boys Net to whatever that place is. They commented saying the only way they would miss is if they're down 20 after 3. And in that scenario, my thing is that if they're down that big, I think it's because Giannis is just, Giannis onto the pickle. If they're up that big, it's because that pickle is just it's just slapping everyone around. it's because he has 30 already.
Giannis Ante the cucumber was brought up in the chat. I don't mind it. Giannis.
Yeah. But I do think it's one of those spots where you risk the injury, but he's gotta be healthy. It's the only time you're really gonna see a Giannis line this low. And if it was in a different matchup, maybe I'd be concerned. But this is just an ideal matchup for Ante the Pickle here. So I'm going with the over. Yeah, especially because I got it earlier at plus money.
Yeah, and why the hell would they bring him back for this game? Like if he wasn't feeling pretty good, like this feels like go out, fuck this team up real quick, feel good again, and we'll see you in the next game. So I don't know. I'm with you on this one.
He's gonna be like a big pickle in the locker room. He's gonna be a big pickle in the locker room. He's gonna shout out tonight. That's the only reason he's in this game.
All right, we had a question. Thoughts on Grizz and Kings tonight? I've been liking Kings here lately, but Grizz have lost a couple of bad games, and we'll be looking to bounce back. So I don't know how to look at this one.
I would wait because did you see that Morant and Adams on the injury report randomly?
I'm actually so happy you just mentioned that because I was about to bring up my next prop, which is kind of obsolete as we stand.
Oh, damn it. What'd you take?
Was it Ja? Shit. No, I had Jaren. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I'm really glad you just mentioned that. Well, I only have 3 props today.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So if you are looking at a game, the biggest worry with the Grizzlies last night is I actually had Ja Morant lined up as like a snipe spot in this game because I was hoping for 27.5. The worst thing that happened last night is that the Grizzlies made that extremely unreal comeback against the Suns. They didn't win, but they came back down 33, I think it was. Whatever it was, I was hoping they would just sit down, lose by a lot, be well rested for this game. But now this game kind of takes a whole different tone because I don't know if they're going to play Ja Morant after playing 38 minutes or 37 minutes last night.
Yeah.
Steven Adams is a big guy that they like to rest in these back-to-back. So that comeback kind of hurt this idea of a fun game between these two teams because I don't know who's in, who's out.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like you said, I'm glad you brought that up. We'll go ahead and just kind of scrap that prop. Doesn't really mean much.
Yeah, we're gonna have to watch Dillon Brooks shoot like 3 for fucking 14 or something like that, and then flex when he makes 1 and 1 down 13. But yeah, so that's an interesting game to watch. That's a game where I actually will lock in Ja Morant if I get 27 or a good price on 28.5 if he's playing, because that's the total is 317, I think 317.5. That's gonna be a fun game. Someone did ask in the chat. Someone asked in the chat if you like over 59.5 for the first quarter total. I don't hate that. I'm not big on the first quarter market, so I don't know what they look like in the first quarter. But as long as you assume that the Grizzlies are well rested after a kind of a tough, long game yesterday, then I would do like it. But I wouldn't be surprised if they are a little sluggish. They played high minutes yesterday, and that kills a team when you're getting blown out. You make this big push for a comeback and you decide to play starters to finish the comeback and you don't. It's kind of really a killer for your schedule when you do that because you don't get the win.
Yeah. Well, the one guy, so I guess I could talk about it ever so slightly. It's now 18.5, which I'm torn. I actually was thinking about laddering this earlier in the day. I'm on Jaren Jackson over 14.5. That doesn't help many now. But I will say he played 23 minutes last night. So that was encouraging to me in a sense of, if there is one guy out there that's going to start for the Grizz that's fresh, it is going to be Jackson in theory, at least till he gets 3 fouls in the first 3 minutes. Honestly, he's one of my least favorite players to bet on. So I can't even really sit here and back the 18.5, in fact. So we can go ahead and just move on. We actually have a little NFL to talk about. So I'm going to knock out my last. Why are we going to fight soon? Just for the show?
Oh shit! You saw that? I didn't think you could read. Damn. Yeah, I was talking to Tone Stamp and NJC about trying to boost ratings a little bit. So we're gonna have a whole a whole cage match in Jello. I'll give
yeah.
We need the Jello fight. It's gonna be a cage match, grape Jello, and we're gonna fight in the Jello. So it's a whole thing.
Yeah, come down to Suffolk, Virginia. I got you, man.
We'll meet halfway, Kansas.
There you go. Awesome. All right, let me go through my final props, I guess, of the night. I'm actually going to go ahead and spit out a ladder here. This one is, there's definitely some risk to it. So, manage your bankroll appropriately. I'll break down how I did it with my units, but I'm going to ladder Derek White assist tonight. That may sound a little odd.
Fucking idiot. Sorry, I thought it was muted. My bad.
Yeah, for sure. So his over 5.5 on DraftKings is plus 125. I went 0.7 units there. On his 8 plus for plus 340. I went 0.3 units there. On 10 plus at plus 800. I went 0.2. So smaller wagers for sure on these higher ladders. If he gets 5.5, we profit. That's always what I'm going to shoot for with a ladder in almost every scenario here, unless I really, really like the higher runs. But so to break down what is interesting about this is no Brogdon and no Smart. Now, unfortunately, we have a 1-game sample size to talk from here. So the only game that those two have missed, and at the same time, Derek White led the team with 17 potential assists, and he converted 10 of those assists, or I guess his teammates converted 10 of those assists. The next highest was Tatum. And I did heavily consider Tatum assists as well here. It's a very attractive line. I like Tatum rebounds plus assists as well, if you wanted any other plays here. But yeah, 1-game sample size, but Tatum had 8 potential assists that game. White had 17. So definitely called my name. I anticipate 32-ish, maybe a little bit more minutes at point guard and like full-time point guard rather than playing off ball. And it's a really nice matchup. Orlando's 7th in assists allowed, and more specifically to White, they allow the 5th most to point guard. So this is more so just a risk I was willing to take here. It looks like a nice spot that with a lot of potential. So I'm going to shoot my shot with Derek White assist.
Brian, I like that.
Minus 1.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I'm getting plus 400. I'm not even taking myself a plus 400.
Yeah.
I guess
man.
I would say I guess you get the better of it because you are taller than me, but I'm pretty scrappy. I'm like Scrappy Doo from the Scooby-Doo franchise. Underrated and unloved. Scrappy Doo, because everyone hates Scrappy Doo. But to your point and to the actual point, I do like this because someone has to facilitate for this Celtics team without Marcus Smart, and I mean there's a lot of scorers on this Boston team. I don't want to bring them up, but probably the best top 3 in the MVP race right now. Grant Williams. Grant Williams should knock down a few threes to help cash this over.
I will say, I want Grant Williams to start over Robert Williams for our sake here. I think he's not to say you can't alley-oop up to Robert Williams, but I love Grant Williams for a corner 3 on a kick out. He's going to hit a good high rate of those. So, I mean, I'm technically fine with whichever Williams it is in the starting lineup, but I kind of lean Grant. I kind of hope it's Grant.
Yeah, I do think actually, jokes aside, Grant Williams is actually having a great year this year. And people will look at the stats and say, oh, it's 9-4, whatever it is. But for his role, he's playing very well this year for that team. So,
yeah, he played pretty much perfectly.
Yeah, he's like what you would want in like a role player like that to come off the bench and just kind of give you length and outside shooting. Williams is out tonight, which is nice for me. Yes, he's out tonight, which is nice for me because I'm gonna play my 2-leg with Wagner. But I do like that. Yeah, I think Sam mentioned double. If you think he's gonna score at plus 950.
I meant to swing around back to that. Yeah, plus 950 is tempting. I would, his points line is at 12.5. So 10 points is not really a shoe-in by any means. If you like that extra,
plus 1,500 on DK, so I do think it's worth it. Plus 1,500, 15 to 1, it's worth it.
That's pretty fucking intriguing. Yeah, go do that. I am not mad at that. If you would rather do the plus 10 assist or I'm sorry, if you'd rather do double at plus 1,500 over plus 10 assists, I would not blame you at all.
Especially because you get bored, you can get saved by the boards because we all know how he crashes the boards there.
He could clean up without Rob. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I do like that play though. But I think that covers our NBA talk, and we're gonna shift to NFL. NFL is the one with the oval shaped ball, but there was been, for as good as the wild card games were last week, as betting aside, as a fan and as a fan of the sport, they were wonderful. I mean, this week, I mean, really the only trophy was given to the Jaguars for the least embarrassing loss, and that was really what it was. If you're an Eagles fan, Saturday night was really fun, but I mean that game was kind of unfun. The Bills Bengals game, I had high hopes for, and I thought there'd be a little back and forth. And that Bills offense looked like it didn't know its alarm was going off, and it overslept and it snoozed a little bit. They were just kind of awful. I think that's the word I want to use. But
I don't know. The game met my expectations. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Listen. I took the Eagles minus 19.5, so that was fun. That was a fun time.
I bet
Only because my girlfriend's family is all Giants fans, and all week I heard how the Giants were close. I will say, if there's any Eagles fans in the chat, I do think it's funny that every team is better than the Eagles, and every team is going to win or every team's going to cover until the Eagles beat them, and then they're worthless pile of dog shit where it's like they were never good. It's the Giants, but like all week everyone was saying how it's gonna be a close game. But yeah, I think this is gonna be a fun weekend of sports. Of course, if the Eagles lose, I'll have to jump off a bridge. But like other than that, I do think it'll be fun. It's like the first time since 1998 that both the spreads in the conference game are within a field goal. So I do think that's gonna be fun. You got Joe Shiesty against the Chiefs again, who he's kind of destroyed. You're gonna have the narrative all week of who's better, who should start. Patrick Mahomes, Chad Henne. The classic quarterback debate of two phenomenal arms. You even have Shanahan's camp saying that Jimmy G, if he's healthy, he could play. Which when I saw that report, I almost threw my phone. That makes no sense to me. I don't even know why they said that before the game. I don't know why they said it before the game too. There's no reason to stop the momentum they have. And Jimmy G's I like him as a quarterback. He's vanilla ice cream. He's not gonna ever lose you a game, but he also doesn't necessarily always win you games. He's just vanilla.
I can't say Purdy's really won them games, but he kind of I don't know. He's throwing to some wonderful friggin' targets, but he's legitimately been good. I mean, he doesn't make every throw by any means, but Purdy has earned his shot, I guess is all I'm getting at. He does not deserve to be benched, even if Jimmy G is 100% Purdy, if I'm San Fran, but that's just me.
It's also a matter of, is the conference championship the time to make changes? That's where it comes down for me, where it's like, is that really the time to make these these big changes?
Somebody said Purdy is at least Sherbert in your reference to Jimmy G being vanilla.
Sherbert's good. I think he's like Neapolitan. He's no one's first choice. He's kind of what you get after 3 flavors are out or 3 quarterbacks. But you know what? You'll live with it. You get a little bit of everything. You get some bad throws, some bad decisions. You get some good throws, and then you still get the vanilla, which you see a little bit with this game. But yeah, this would be a fun time, and that kind of brings me to my non-biased prop of bet. And if you don't watch the show or you're not familiar with me, I am a huge Eagles fan. I'm wearing my Eagles jersey right now. Go Birds.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
But I do not bet on the Birds religiously. I hate betting on Philly sports, but I did take the Eagles minus 2.5 at open. I actually got at -2, but by the time the show aired, it was only 2.5. So I took it again for the good of the show, to have a ticket to show that's current. And you can roast me in the chat, but here's my thinking here is a home team usually gives about 3 points in any scenario, especially in the playoffs. And we're basically kind of underdogs according to Vegas with the 2 line, which we're open at. And as I mentioned, I hate betting on my own team. But I do think this Eagles team is a field goal better than what I saw yesterday from the Niners. It's tough to not be biased when trying to explain this in the Eagles jersey, but overall, my thinking is Jalen Hurts had a blowout win, which is really nice because he didn't have to throw the ball at all. We only had 1 ball thrown down field for more than 20 yards.
Yeah.
And we know the offense is capable of that, but the fact that Hurts was able to rest that arm, it's also a matter of I do lean the under in this game because I feel like both these teams can just bleed clock and have these long drives. But in watching that game yesterday, how many interceptions did the Cowboys drop? I think it was 2. Trayvon Diggs had that big one where, I mean, these are game-changing plays, you know?
Absolutely.
And the Eagles defense have been so good in their turnover margin overall. And the turnover margin is one of the best things you can have for a team to have success. And I just don't think Brock Purdy, as good as he's been, he did show at the end of the day, he is a rookie quarterback drafted in the 7th round. And that's the thing is that end of the day, I'll take the Eagles offense right now under Jalen Hurts to make a game-winning drive over Brock Purdy and the 49ers. 49ers are a nightmare matchup for the Eagles. That's not who I wanted to see in the conference championship, but seeing that, but you can't call them underdogs though. Well, yeah, we're favorited, but by Vegas standards, Tone Stamp, technically it's like an even line because honestly, by that standards, the Bengals are kind of given that edge over the Chiefs on the opening lines too, open at 1.5. So it should be a fun time for football, but my closing thought is just that, like I said, if push comes to shove and one of these offense has to make a game-winning drive, I just trust Jalen Hurts over Brock Purdy and that team.
Yeah, I won't really get too far into this because I too am big Eagles fan. I mean, I can still approach this pretty realistically, at least I feel. But if you're giving me Hurts versus Purdy, obviously the teams go deeper than that. I mean, I'm taking, obviously I'm taking Hurts quite happily. I also think we hear a lot about San Francisco's defense and it's very, 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 very warranted. Do not get me wrong. But man, we don't hear anywhere near as much about the Eagles defense. And Hassan Reddick is good Lord, man. He's got to be a top 5-10 player on defense this season, strictly talking.
Did you see his highlights yesterday?
I saw every play, dude. He ruined that day for Daniel Jones, who had been playing pretty solid football for a little while now. Granted, he was still Daniel Jones, and it was still the Giants, but he played such an unbelievable game. And I really wonder what will Brock Purdy do in the face of our pass rush, which I think is Dallas's pass rush is really good. The one thing you could say in San Fran's favor, at least to combat what I'm saying, is Trent Williams is a fucking monster. That dude at left tackle is truly wonderful. And if somebody can neutralize Hassan Reddick, it's definitely him. But I think we have other guys that could step up and beat up the weaker spots there offensive line. So I like our pass rush to get there, to get home versus Purdy. I just you have to wonder what he'll be able to handle versus our defense. We have maybe not ball hawking cornerbacks, but Bradbury and Slay are
Darius Slay is very fun to watch.
Yeah, they're at least very capable of getting some INTs. So I do like the Eagles here. I mean, I always say it to my friends, if my team is a true contender, I'm always gonna pick them. So take that as far as you're willing to take it. But go Eagles.
My closing thoughts here is, like I said, I don't like to bet on the Eagles. Very happy with this line that I found. So watching that game against Daniel Jones, when I took the Eagles last week at -7.5, my big thing was that Daniel Jones relies on moving out of the pocket and relies on being able to, if he can't throw downfield, he has that chance to run. And the Philadelphia Eagles front seven neutralized that. They kept him in the pocket and they made him make throws, and he didn't do well with it. If you watch last night, Brock Purdy out of the pocket made some big errors. He actually made some really he threw across his body a few times, and he made some just kind of rookie plays that when you're game planning for it, I think the Philadelphia Eagles front seven, just like the game plan for Daniel Jones to keep him in the pocket, I think they're going to be able to get Brock Purdy out of the pocket, which is where he's going to struggle to have to make plays on the run and make plays where he doesn't have his 1-2-3 option, and he might have to make something happen. Because even that play to Kittle across his body, that was also close to an interception where Kittle made that one-handed insane grab.
Yeah.
He threw across his body there out of the pocket, and I just feel like if we have one or two turnovers, I mean takeaways, and the Eagles don't turn the ball over, I just think it's one of those games where I don't see it being one that the Eagles will drop at home.
I don't think so either. One thing I do want to kind of revert back to, and we'll go to the Pickett popular play segment here in a moment. My last thing that I want to bring up, and it's more so a question to you, but we've sat here and talked about all these things that could go wrong for the 49ers. We never really discussed what could go wrong for the Eagles. What do you think could go wrong? Like, I think they could kind of slow us down with the run. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's funny you brought that up. I'm not trying to cut you off, but I texted my friends last night. Number one thing that worries me about the Niners is exactly what we saw yesterday when the Dallas Cowboys had 10 minutes left on the clock, down at score, needing to get off the field, and the fucking 49ers are so good at these 9-minute back-breaking drives. And that's the only thing that worries me, is that Gannon's defense likes to play off the line. And if we give up these long, sustained 8-minute drives when we need the ball back in those kind of situations, it's killer to have that. Perfect. Just those long drives. I'm not even necessarily worried about if AJ Brown's healthy. I might take him 70 yards. His over under 68.5. I'm only worried about, I don't know if you saw, his hamstring was a little tweaked, but I mean, last 2 weeks, CeeDee Lamb took him for 10 catches, 114. DK Metcalf had 140. I think this could be a huge AJ Brown game, and I'm the guy that always bets on Dallas Goedert, but this could be one of those legacy games for AJ Brown after this trade to make something happen after a quiet week.
Yeah. And somebody said that they'll stop a run as well.
Yeah.
I can't say stop is a word I would be willing to use, but I don't, we're not averaging 6.1 yards per carry by any means. I still think our offensive line is good enough. We could do 4.2, and 4.2 still pretty good.
I will say this. Will the Eagles run the ball 44 times like they did against the Giants? No. But no. I do think the Eagles have the weapons to make other plays. I mean, look at Devonta Smith. Dallas Goedert is anyone in the comments can call me wrong. I put Dallas Goedert as my third best tight end in the league right now. He is exceptional to watch just as an overall talent, and especially in space. And like I said, AJ Brown could have a monster game if he wanted to get the targets and just make plays happen.
Yeah, I think he got a little emotional on the sideline last, or I guess 2 days ago, or whenever the hell it was. I have no concept of time. And I think we'll kind of respond to that, and you can call it coach talk to an extent, but Sirianni definitely noticed that. Sirianni definitely wants to keep him happy, and
AJ Brown,
Hurts and Brown are our best bros. So I wouldn't be too surprised if he got peppered next week in some targets.
I'll text you after the stream, but AJ Brown 70+ yards is -108 on FanDuel, which is funny because his 70.5 is -115. So you get better Drews for a yard less. But real quick, I do want to just say this to piss Tone Simp off. I did bet on Isaiah Pacheco over. His over is 47.5 on DraftKings. I did take his over in this matchup where I believe, despite how good the Bengals rushing, defense is, I just think if you watch him play, Pacheco's play style is so aggressive and so hard-nosed, put your head down and run. I think this is a game where I'm not trying to be that narrative of Patrick Mahomes is hurt, but Patrick Mahomes definitely is, he's definitely hindered with that leg. And as much as Andy Reid hates running the football, he would be kind of stupid to not, lean on Pacheco, not even, a ton, but he had 12 carries last game. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 14, 15 of those carries where he just makes plays happen. Like there were some plays yesterday or Saturday where he looked dead in the water and he just makes one guy miss and just, takes it to the house or takes it 40 yards. So this is one of those plays where I think he gets the volume. He's averaging, 5 yards a carry this year. He's over this in 8 of his, and actually 9 of his last 10, he's had 56 or more. And the Chiefs offense has so many weapons where you saw on Saturday, if they spread out those 4 wide receiver sets and they have those delayed handoffs to Pacheco, he's just so good in open space that anything under 50 yards, I think I had to ride with this one.
Yeah, good deal. 20 in the first quarter. Yeah,
I like that too, because I think no matter the game script, he's gonna get 10. He's gonna get 5 carries early on in the first 2 drives, and they'd be stupid not to. Yeah. Do you even? We can do the pick popular plays, but if you don't want to do them, I'm okay just skipping them, taking a nap. So it's up to you, Ryan. I know you're the one.
Let's see what they are. Let's rattle them off real quick. We'll hop out here in a minute. Let me pull them up because I'm a bum and I don't already have them pulled up.
I actually know some of these because I was looking at them because, especially with NFL props, this is a fun time for sports. The first Pickett popular player, which I was actually looking at, was, I believe it's Tatum, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So as we talked about earlier, someone has to pass ball at Tatum. So Derek White is going to get at least 7 assists to Tatum drive. So a lot of people are taking his points. His points are 31.5, right? I believe.
Yeah.
People are taking the over 37.5 points / assist, points / rebounds at 40.5. It's a lot of overs. I don't see many unders. Yeah. His most bet prop is anytime touchdown scorer. No, his most bet prop is actually rebounds assist. So I guess people are taking. Yeah, I think people are taking the look because Marcus Smart does a lot for this offense. So I do think there's a lot of voids to be filled, whether it's rebounds, assists, especially with Robert Williams out. Tatum can turn into that. He can turn into that power forward, like that true power forward. Attack
19 rebounds last game.
Yeah, he can turn into that true power forward on the glass, and he can also turn into that, point guard kind of role, ball in hand to get up some assists. So I do like his RA a lot. I don't know what it opened at. It opened at 13.5. I don't know what it is at the moment because you have to assume it moved with the no RW news. So even if it's a 14.5, I hope it's plus money. I do think that's a good look.
14.5 at -120 on draft. Or I'm sorry, on
not
FanDuel.
Bad. That's not bad at all. Tatum triple double in the comments. Someone said you might as well take quadruple double.
It was 20-1. I thought about it, to be honest with you. I don't hate it.
Someone asked for a lock in the NBA segment. Ryan only deals with locks, so I'll give it to him. He's never lost a bet in his entire segment here. So
only that was true. I've sucked in January. But,
what's your lock of locks? Goldilocks, mega bet, can't miss.
I guess market and rebounds, I guess, would probably be my favorite.
Yeah, if you didn't miss it, Ryan took Lauri Markkanen over 19.5 rebounds.
19.5
rebounds. So he likes Markkanen rebounds. I do think that's a good look. If you're looking for anything the plays we did cover was Lauri Markkanen over 9.5 rebounds, a Derek White assist ladder. What else did you have? You had some.
DeJounte Murray.
Yeah,
I'm glad that Derek White didn't fit into that stupid shit column. DeJounte Murray over 27.5 points plus assists.
That's assists. That's his 3 plays. And then I was on Giannis Antetokounmpo or Giannis Antetokounmpo if you want to call him. Giannis. 30 and you see, I almost said 30.5. 28.5 points. Got it at plus money. Great spot for Giannis as long as his knee doesn't explode. I didn't know Pickles had knees, but that's a whole other thing. And the other play I had in the slate was Banchero 3+ assist pairs with Franz Wagner 14+ points. And then for NFL to wrap up the show, I had the Eagles -2 and 2.5. You could still find the money line at -125 some places, I'm pretty sure. I just think it's a better spot for them. And I did take Isaiah Pacheco. We'll call it 47.5 rushing yards, which is the best current line. Yeah. Do you want to add anything, Ryan? Because I think we covered a lot in a show that we got a little interrupted and we came back strong with.
Yeah. My main thing is kind of just a thankful thing. I appreciate everybody that stuck around while we had the technical difficulties. I know, it's probably only a few minutes all in all, but still means a lot to us to have so many people stick around and engage in the chats and stick around to watch in general. So just appreciate it. That'll wrap up another edition of Ryan and Brian Talk Sports, brought to you by Pickett Sports. Much appreciated, guys.